Welcome to the Stylish Design channel. I will help you understand what HTML is in an understandable format and for free. HTML elements for grouping web page content. Content of the video lesson. Element address. Element hour. The pre-element. The block quote element. Element all. Element ul. Element li. Element dl. Element dt. Element dd. Figure element. The figaption element. Element address defines the contact details of the author of the document owner. The address element represents contact information about a person or organization. It must include the physical and digital location, contact information, and means of identifying the person or organization to which the information belongs. The browser usually displays italics. Example. Tip. The address tag should not be used to describe a mailing address unless it is part of the contact information. The address element is usually included with other information in the footer element. Element hour defines a thematic change of content. The hour element is a thematic break at the paragraph level, such as a scene change in a story or a transition to a different topic in a reference chapter. There is no need for an hour element between sections, since the section and H1 elements themselves imply a change of subject. The hour element does not affect the structure of the document. Example. The pre-element defines pre-formatted text. The pre-element is a block of pre-formatted text in which the structure is represented by typographical conventions rather than elements. In HTML syntax, the leading newline character immediately following the opening pre-tag is removed. The pre-element can be used with the code element to represent a block of computer code. The pre-element can be used with the samp element to represent the result of executing a program, code or script. Similarly, the KBD element can be used in the pre-element to indicate the text that the user should enter. Example. Tip. Use the pre-element when displaying text with unusual formatting or any computer code. The pre-element defines pre-formatted text. The pre-element is a block of pre-formatted text in which the structure is represented by typographical conventions rather than elements. In HTML syntax, the leading newline character immediately following the opening pre-tag is removed. The pre-element can be used with the code element to represent a block of computer code. The pre-element can be used with the samp element to represent the result of executing a program, code or script. Similarly, the KBD element can be used in the pre-element to indicate the text that the user should enter. Example. Tip. Use the pre-element when displaying text with unusual formatting or any computer code. The block quote element specifies a section that is quoted from another source. The element has global attributes and an optional cite attribute that contains a link to the source of the citation. Browsers may allow users to follow such links, but they are primarily intended for private use, such as by server scripts collecting site citation usage statistics, not for readers. A block quote element is content quoted from another source, optionally with reference to the citation source specified in the footer or cite element, and optionally with changes to the text such as annotations and abbreviations. Example. Tip. Use Q for embedded short quotes. Attributes of the block quote element. The site URL attribute indicates the source of the offer. Element ol defines an ordered list. The ol element represents a list of elements where the elements were originally ordered in such a way that changing the order would change the content of the document. The elements of the list are the elements li. Example. Tip. For an unordered list, use ul. Using CSS to create style lists. Attributes of the element ul. The start number attribute sets the initial value of the ordered list. The type attribute specifies the type of marker to use in the list. The ul element defines an unordered list. The ul element is a list of elements where the order of the elements is not important. That is, when changing the order will not lead to a significant change in the content of the document. Example. Tip. Use CSS to style lists. To create ordered lists, use ul. Element li defines a list skipping tags. A closing li tag can be omitted if the li element immediately follows another li element, or if there is no more content in the nested element. Global attributes are available for this element. If the element is a child of ul, the value attribute is optional. The li element is a list element. If the parent element is the ul element, then the element has a sequence number. The value attribute, if present, must be a valid integer specifying the sequence number of the list. Example. Tip. Use CSS to define the list type. Attributes of element li. Attribute value number specifies the value of the list. Subsequent list items will increment from this number for all lists only. Element DL defines a description list. Global attributes are available for this element. The DL element is a description list consisting of 0 or more term description groups. The term is represented by the element DT. The description is represented by the element DD. Term description groups can be terms and definitions, questions and answers, categories and topics, etc. Example. Element DT defines the name term in the description list. Global attributes are available for this element. The element DT is a term in the description list DL. When using the DL element, the DT element does not necessarily represent a defined term. You can use the DFN element for this. Example. Element DD defines a description of the term value in the description list. The DD tag is used to describe a name term in a description list. The DD tag is used in conjunction with DL to define a list of descriptions and DT to define term names. Inside the DD tag, you can place paragraphs, line breaks, images, links, lists, and more. Example. The figure element indicates standalone content. The figure element is self-contained content, optionally with a signature, that is an independent element of the main stream. With the help of the figure element, you can add short characteristics to illustrations, photos, diagrams, code fragments, etc. when a figure is referenced from the main body of a document. Identifying it by a title, such as a figure number. It allows you to easily move such content from the main body, for example, to a sidebar or appendix, without affecting the flow of the document. Example. Tip. The figcaption element is used to add a caption to the figure element. Figcaption element defines the figure caption element. The figcaption tag defines the caption for the figure element. The figcaption element can be placed as the first or last child element of the figure element. Example. Thank you for being with us on this exciting journey. I hope you have gained valuable knowledge and inspiration to start your web development career. Don't stop there. The world of web development is endless, and even more interesting and difficult tasks await you ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next development tutorials and other interesting topics. Like if you enjoyed this tutorial and share your success in the comments.